So he's very, very playful right now. And the one thing that we ask, if after the feeding tour is over, when you guys are walking around the front, because you're welcome to stay all day when we open up the enclosures and everything like this, we especially ask when we come to these two cats, please no running around or teasing the animals. He's very, very playful, and because of this nature, he's going to want to chase after the little ones like that. And the problem with that is instinct kicks over in these animals, and he's going to get really excited. He's going to run, he's going to smash into the fence, and he's going to hurt himself. So this is why we never want people running around here, because the cats' instincts get triggered and they kind of chase after them and stuff. So he actually has this really weird behavior, which is odd because his dad had the exact same behavior. Harley loves to lay in his water dish. So when we water him, we usually bring 2 or 3 jugs, because the first one gets used up just to give him a bath, and he'll bite the water, he'll roll around, he'll swat at it, he bites at the nozzle. Tigers absolutely love the water, which is kind of a weird thing because you always hear about how much cats hate water. Tigers love to be in the water. They absolutely love it. So just like his dad Kai used to do, Harley will do the same thing. He'll sit in his water dish and we just pour water all over him. And then after he gets bored, he lets us finally water him a little bit. And then he'll sometimes go back in for a second round and everything like this. So this is why you'll see a lot of the hutches have these big metal tubs on the top. In the middle of the summer, we like to put a lot of the tubs out into the enclosures for the tigers. They will spend half their day just jumping in and out of that water and loving the heck out of it and everything like this too. So even though he's really small, he's very, very dangerous. By the time they're 3 months old, they're already strong enough to bite your fingers off. We put them on a meat diet by the time they're 3 months. Prior to that, we feed them a bottle diet. So he was housed up at the rescue's house over winter, and you know, it's a bittersweet thing raising a cub. It's a pretty cool experience to say, yeah, we got to raise a cub, take naps with it, feed it. But then there's also the pooping and the cleaning and stuff. So you get that fun of holding a tiger over a toilet and basically rubbing their backside with a warm cloth to motivate. Because in the wild, the mom would lick their backsides, and that stimulates them to go to the bathroom. And obviously, you know, if they don't do it, it's not good for the body. So we have to stimulate that too. So in my career of helping them out, I've been pooped on and peed on and all kinds of, but it's been by tigers, so I can say I got pooped on by a tiger today. That's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun raising them, but they're not meant to be in the inside, so they climb over everything, and they're like Velcro paws. You know, imagine how much your little tiny house cat with their tiny paws can do. When you got an animal with paws like this and claws that come out, it's a whole different story. So we don't go in with the cats. It's not always the case that the cat would want to kill us. It's that they would want to play with us. So Harley is an absolute sweetheart. He's going to want to play with us because we used to play with him all the time. And so he kind of looks at us like, hey, how come you're not in here playing with me? We used to be together all the time. Well, Harley, you'd kill me. So, you know, they grow up thinking that we're stronger than them because we used to be able to lift them up and we used to be able to pin them down, things like this. So in their mind, he might actually think that I'm stronger than him. He doesn't realize that our skin's not built the way theirs are. We don't have that fur to protect us. So if he's going to play, he's going to bite and scratch and claw and tackle me, and he's going to kill me, or he's going to severely injure me. And then in order to protect myself, I might have to pull him off of me, and that's going to risk hurting him. So to avoid any kind of injuries for our cats or stress for them, we just don't go in with them once they get to a certain age. So Harley will be here with us forever. Now, he's still young enough that if the rescue gets a call for another cat around his age, we can still pair him up, which is really nice. And that's always our hope. You know, the cats get a ton of socialization every single day, which is also another reason why we feed the way we do. So back when the rescue was first started, we were about 1.5 miles out of town, and Jenny's husband and I would do a lot of the feeding together. And how this would work is a local farmer might have a cow that passed away or was stillborn. So we'd have to skin the cow, we'd have to gut it, we'd have to cut it up, but this is a lot of fun. And they asked me when I first started helping them, do I have a thick stomach? And I said, yeah, it's pretty thick. So, we used to have to get up on top of the hutches, which the cats hated because they're apex predators and they hate having anything higher than them. So that aggravated the cats. Then we would have to try to throw this big 50-pound chunk of meat over the fence. And I say try because half the time it would land back on us, and that was loads of fun. Sometimes it would get stuck on the fences, and then when it finally did make it over, the cats would fight over it and stuff. This would also run the same risk that they run in the wild. When a cat lives in the wild, they might go a week without eating, and then they finally make a kill and they gorge, and they eat as much as they can. So now they got all this food digesting in their belly, and as cats like to roll around, there's a risk of them twisting their stomach. So we stopped feeding this way, and we now feed 5 or 6 days a week, a lot smaller amounts of quantity per day. So this eliminates the risk of the cats twisting their stomach. It gives us the daily interaction with the cat so we can observe them, monitor. You might actually see Jenny taking some notes in some binders here. She's making notes on everything. Who watered, who opened the gates, what did their poop look like, how much poop was there, all this stuff. This way, if a vet comes by, we can kind of monitor this.